Okay, so today I did my reading on standards-based grading and competency-based education. And so basically, looking at this first slide, it says, what is standards-based grading? And this is a way that teachers all across the country have adapted their teaching so that they can grade their students more effectively. And they do this by ensuring that the students understand the main ideas based on standards and objectives rather than just filling out a grade book of assignments and homework. And so, like on this image right here, they give certain point values depending on how well the student understands what is being taught and if they have achieved this mastery. So if they don't understand, obviously they give them a 0. If they have partial understanding of the main idea, they can give them partial points. And the goal obviously is that all of them can achieve this mastery in the standards, for example, the Common Core standards or learning targets, learning objectives, and the teacher bases the grades given off of those. Something else that I noticed as I was looking at the readings is that it's interesting that in this standards-based grading way of teaching that there is no extra credit available, and it's not often that retakes are optional as well. And for this reason, it's just that the students aren't so worried about grade point values, but it's more focused on their understanding, like I said, and their proficiency on well-defined course objectives. So, but something else interesting about this is that letter grades are still given, and they still have report cards and everything, but just the actual content that's on the report card or in the grade book is a lot different from a traditional grade-based system. And that is that they're not just saying completed homework 20 points out of 20 points, but rather it will say understands accounting, for example, and gives them a 4 out of 5 on their understanding. And the way that the teacher is able to assess this understanding is through formative assessments during the day. So they can watch, so the teacher observes their comments and other ways of formatively assessing them through exit tickets, other things like that, and grades them on that. However, the students are able to improve their understanding over time, and if they're able to prove that to the teacher, then the points of their understanding can be adjusted as well. And then the teacher just has to kind of like get, I don't know, they have to state a certain percentage that would equal a certain grade. So if on all of their assignments they had gotten 3 out of 4 of 5 assignments, then they would end up getting 15 out of 20. And this is just how it works, and so then maybe that'd be like a B+ or something. And obviously they still have to take some summative assessments like midterms and finals, but those are the exceptions. And the norm is obviously using formative assessment. And this is better for the students because it helps them with their relationship with the teacher and working how they can better their understanding and their knowledge and intelligence rather than just completing assignments and getting a grade for it. And so the difference with that and competency-based education, well, the similarities first, is that students are encouraged to achieve the predetermined standards. In both cases, they're very similar in the goals, and in this way, the students are able to take charge of their own learning and be more interactive and excited about learning. Whereas in a traditional way, in traditional grading, students normally just do the bare minimum of being able to complete the assignments, even though they may be missing a huge idea as to why the Civil War happened. But maybe they know the date, and so for that reason, their grades don't really reflect their understanding. But in these two ways, it does help that. And like I said earlier, that formative assessment is the most commonly used. Now, some differences between them is that competency-based education is based more upon the mastery of the student. So basically, each student isn't divided into grades or age or anything, but they just sit in their classroom and they're able to work at their own pace. So if they start working on something and they realize that they completely understand it with ease, they can be passed off to the next level. And for some students, they might stay on that level a longer time. Some students might fly through it, might just be able to skip over it. But it's all based on the child's ownership of their learning. And so in this way, they have specific rubrics that show how you know when they have moved to the next level. And those are made together with other teachers. And let's see, it's helpful for the students because they can all go at their own pace, but sometimes students do fall behind and aren't as accountable as they should be. So they have teachers there to help pace the slower students and show them some ways to enhance their knowledge using technology and other cool things like that. And so that's that. So just coming back to this, basically the similarities of standards-based grading and competency-based education is that the main goal is that students understand or master the standards or objectives that are set before them instead of just completing tasks.